Hello Gemini, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Love this deck. I think a friend of mine suggested it, not sure. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. I think these go well, really, really well together. Let's see what we got for you. What? Okay. It's like, okay, you're working around something. Working around something, and there's one card that fell out face down, and I just left it here when I was shuffling them before I started the camera. So, you're starting off with prosperity. This is a good thing, right? Things should be very prosperous, even if you're just looking at it in that sense. Like, I see where this is going, and this is going to go great. It might literally be just your attitude is looking at this in a very prosperous way. Like, that. I got to get involved with that. I want to be a part of that because that's going to work. That's going to be great. You got the safe travel. You're going towards it. This is also something, even though you're going towards it, you've got the King of Pentacles with the Five of Wands. You're fighting to get yourself involved. You might even be fighting yourself to get yourself to be a part of it. Kind of like, I don't want to let this slip past me. I want to be a part of this. I got to wait for the moment and see where I can get in. You want to be a part of this situation. You're like, I see a lot of prosperous possibilities here. It's really good, but I want to get involved with this, and I want to like really secure my position. That's the King of Pentacles. You want to secure your position as a formidable person to be a part of it, but it's kind of like I got to fight my way in. I feel like I have to fight my way in, but I'm going to try to. Which you finding your way in should not be an issue, in my opinion. Y'all see so many different angles. So you'll find it. Wisdom with the Ace of Wands is telling me you'll find it. You'll find your way in, and you will get in there. It's kind of like that Gemini energy is really powerful. And it's like when you want in, you will find your way in. It may take you a couple months at most. At most a couple months, but you will find your way in. You will do it. I've seen this with people too. Like when I've seen it with Gemini, it's kind of like they go for this job. Maybe they don't get it the first time around, but it doesn't mean they stop. They'll keep looking at that company. They'll be like, what else are they hiring for? What other ways can I get there? All right, I'll get in this way, and then I'll get over to that. Like, they don't give up. When they really want something, I don't think they give up. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong. But, like, you have many different angles to make success happen. And you're like, well, if that first door didn't work, there's windows, there's the chimney, I can go in through the basement. I got a lot of different ways I can do this. If you're very motivated for it and you're seeing the value, that prosperity, you'll make it happen. And you will get in. So I do feel you getting involved with this situation. It's also, again, it depends how much passion is behind it. If you're extremely motivated, it will happen. The Empress comes in. When you get involved with this situation, I feel like you fit very well. I don't think this is going to be difficult for you to get into this again. I do feel like you're going to get in there fairly easily. And I do feel like you're very welcome here. When I'm getting the Empress, I'm getting a very welcome energy, this is where you fit, this is a good place for you. Your ideas and the way you see things are very appreciated. It does feel very positive. It does feel really positive. Now, there's friendships coming out of this. So, in the land of honesty, not everybody understands Gemini. And you know that. You know that without question. I feel like you get that without any question. Like, yeah, not everybody gets you. But you seem to be connecting to the right people the right way. You're also on point with this because I feel like for the people watching this anyway, you've seen how your energy lands on other people. And you know, like, for some people, you got to really kind of limit what you say. You got to limit it, and you got to keep it in a certain path, in a certain category. You might have, like, a lot of ideas about this one subject, but you're like, if I expect to be effective, I got to kind of pull it in, I got to reel it in, and I got to choose very carefully what I say and how I say and who I say it to. You do have that control. I'm feeling with this situation because it's kind of like you're making friends. You're like, I want to keep these friends. I have goals. I got to pay attention who I'm talking to and how they're receiving me. Again, you know very well that everybody gets you. So sometimes the trick is to like not put it all out there because they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to handle it. So you're like watching, like when they start talking to other people, when they talk to other people or they handle certain subjects, you're watching, like, how do they talk to people? How do people talk to them? What type of things are they handling? And you're like, okay, this is how they work. This is how I talk to them. This is how I relay that information to get what I need out of the situation. Sometimes I understand that Gemini gets very excited and has a lot they'd like to say, but at this point it feels advanced enough to you're kind of like, if I just word vomit here, I'm going to lose them. And they're just going to think, I don't know what they're going to think, but they're just not going to be very supportive or helpful for you. So you're like, I have to keep it defined. Not that you want to, not that you like that, but you're realizing if I want this to work out, I got to keep it defined. It takes a lot of strength for you to do this, is what I'm also getting. Because when you get excited and you have a lot of ideas, you like to talk that out. But you're like, nope, not this one. This one, no, it's not going to work. You will find people, because I am getting that friendship card again, you will find people who can handle that. But again, I'm seeing like you have to be limited in the sense of like, even though they can handle that, what are they going to do with it? Like, where are they going to go with it? You know what I mean? So you got to be thinking about that too. Are you going to share your ideas with somebody and they're going to take those ideas and make them their own? So you got to be careful, and you got to kind of like, are you going to share your ideas with somebody and then they're going to double that back on you? A lot of strength here, a lot of good energy, a lot of friendship energy, but I feel like one of the reasons this is going to work out is because you're like, instead of giving the possibility of a problem, you're keeping it controlled. Good, good. This is face down. The death and rebirth came out face down. I like that. So something is changing in this situation. This is good. This is good for you. It's still prosperous, but it's going to be different. Gemini does like change usually. The death and rebirth comes in with the glamour. So when we were talking before about there are people who can keep up with the way you think and who can understand that, you still got to be very controlled and be careful what you're sharing, because you want your ideas to be credited to you. I'm pointing to me like as if I was the Gemini, to you. Your ideas need to be credited to you. So you're going to have to keep things under your hat a little bit here. You have great ideas. Bounce some of it off, but be careful how much you bounce off of other people, because I know you got to gather more information. I respect that. I get that. But don't tell people what you're thinking too much. Do it more of a gathering information instead of sharing too much. Share a little like you need to, but more about gathering, because there's a whole other cycle coming in, a whole different way of doing things. And the glamour here is telling me there's some people around this that don't have the best intentions for you. They may not have the best intentions for anything. It depends what you're dealing with, but I wouldn't take it personally. There's just certain people out there who they're just looking for their own benefit forward. Like, dog eat dog mentality, kind of like, whatever I have to do for me to get ahead, they may have that attitude. So be aware of that. Less is more. You need to get credit for your information. For that reason, you got to keep it kind of compressed and with you. Harvest comes in right above that death card. It's coming in above the death card. The harvest is coming in with the Queen of Wands. Don't you just love her on there? Look how gorgeous she is. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. When you see this next phase coming in, a lot is going to happen at once. Somebody's going to be very excited. Has nothing to do with you, but you need to be aware of this energy. You need to pay attention to it. I feel like this could be a great ally for you, but pay attention to how they work. Could be a great ally. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. Very positive energy, kind of like good things coming in. There's a lot they're going to create here. Pay attention to how they work. Pay attention very closely, because there's a lot of energy. They're literally giving the energy card next to the Queen of Wands, which, seriously, look at her. Does she not have all the energy in the world anyway? But they're like highlighting it. They're like, seriously, she's got a lot of energy. And don't get caught up in the gender. This can be any gender, especially with a general read. So there's a lot of excitement coming in. But with this excitement comes new hope and new ideas. You're going to be a part of this. I do feel like you're going to work with this person. Watch how they work. What type of etiquette? What type of rules? Are they the type of person that, like, when something's coming forward, they're the one who releases that to everybody? Are they the type of person like you only, you don't talk to them when they're not at work? They don't want to be bothered with business stuff, so don't talk to me about business stuff. Or, are they a little bit more colorful with their language? Is that how they talk? I've seen this happen before where you can have a very good, very smart person, but they have a very colorful vocabulary. And when you're dealing with the public, you might be like, well, we're going to make sure that they're very aware when the public is around so that they curtail that. And we're going to try to keep them over in places where they can be themselves without having to worry about that. But if the public is going to be around, we keep reminding them, the public is around. You have a beautiful language, yes, but certain things, we know how the public goes. You can't use F-bombs and stuff like that. Or I've worked with people like that they're very colorful. We're gonna say colorful. F-bombs and whatever you got going on. And you're kind of like, hey, especially if there's gonna be kids here today, we're doing that parent thing. What do you call that thing? Bring your child to work day. So, no F-bombs today. We're not going to do that today. Kind of just keep reminding them, hey, I know there's no kids over in this area today at the moment, but they're in the building. Be aware of that. We're going to keep our language together. Because a very colorful person doesn't mean that's what this person is, but they're very expressive and very excited. A lot of good energy. There's also the Aquarius energy is kind of there with the star, too. The star does sometimes talk of Aquarius. So it might be a little bit more of a playful, kind of what you thinking type thing. This could be a very, an intellectual person, not just active, but also intellectual, which is very fun. You're going to match into this. You got the romance card, which doesn't have to mean anything actual, romantic, touchy thing. Just sometimes the romance card comes in you lock in with this person. You love working with them. You love being around them. They just seem to understand what you talk about, and they have a lot to tell you. And you love the fact that they can tell you all these things. But you also got the Page of Cups. This person, this Queen of Wands, and don't get caught up in the gender again, but that Queen of Wands is the leader. They are the leader. So I feel like you got to be aware of that too. And you got to be okay, for right now, they're the leader. You also, as you keep going forward, you have to decide for yourself, are you comfortable with them as the leader, or do you want to be the leader somewhere down the road? That's up to you. In this situation, they are the leader. When they're involved, they are the leader. That's what I'm getting with this. Be wary of somebody who tends to lead but says they don't want to. That could be a recipe for disaster. If you're dealing with somebody who they just seem to lead anyway, but they're constantly saying that they either they don't lead or they don't want to lead, then be aware of that. That energy might be a difficult thing for you. If that's the case, make sure you step back a little bit and let that be what it is. This may be a temporary connection. I'm getting that really strong. If this is a person you're dealing with that leads but seems to not want to, or says that they're not, even though they are, that could be a roadblock for you at some point. So you might want to keep an eye on that and just work with that realistically. Keep aware of it. You don't want to call that out. If you call that out, that's going to blow up in your face. But as long as you're dealing with this person, they are the lead. Be aware of that. And if you want to lead later on your own, you're going to have to do something separate from them. It's good. This is very good because while you're connected with them, I feel like this goes very well. I'm just really worried about if you're dealing with somebody who says they're not the leader. They literally are. Even if they say they're not, they are. And that could be an issue going forward. Just be aware of it. Handle it like you need to. All right. I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.